Nancy Pelosi caught in another nasty scandal. The media has invested a ton of energy discussing the flight outrage prompting the resignation of Trump cabinet member Tom Price. As per the Daily Caller, the previous Health and Human Services Secretary stepped down after reports uncovered he spent about $1 million of citizen cash on private planes and military planes. In any case, it appears it isn't quite recently prominent Republicans who have utilized government-subsidized travel tentatively. As per Judicial Watch, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi's extensive utilization of military travel has fetched U.S. citizens more than $2 million over a 2-year time frame. Moreover, Pelosi's flights have caused a huge number of dollars in costs for alcoholic beverages. Judicial Watch found this amazing disclosure through reports acquired from the Air Force by means of the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. Judicial Watch had beforehand given an account of Pelosi's propensity to utilize military planes rather than a business airplane for her travel. The new reports demonstrate that her flight inclinations have been extremely costly. More than one 2-year time span, Pelosi's travel costs were $2,100,744.59. Of that sum, $101,429 was for in-flight costs, including different sorts of food and liquor. One international congressional delegation, CODEL, in which Pelosi took an interest cost $17,931 every hour. As the previous House Speaker went through the Middle East, more than 13 sorts of alcoholic beverages were served. The variety of beverages included Johnnie Walker Red Scotch, Grey Goose Vodka, E&J Brandy, Bailey's Irish Creme, Maker's Mark Bourbon, Courvoisier Cognac, Bacardi Light Rum, Jim Beam Bourbon, Beefeater Gin, Dewar's Scotch, Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey, and Corona Beer, in addition to a few containers of wine. In another CODEL in 2007 including a stop in Israel, Pelosi tried to get genuine liquor for blending. Bourbon, whiskey, scotch, vodka, gin, tequila, and triple sec were altogether obtained on the citizen dime. The reports demonstrate that in 2008, the Department of Defense conceded a $60,000 progress to a CODEL made up of 56 individuals from Congress, who flew out to Louisiana and Mississippi to overview Hurricane Katrina help endeavors. The individuals from Congress surpassed their approved uses by $5,505.46. It stays to be seen whether the mainstream media gives Pelosi a similar level of scrutiny it set on Trump's HHS secretary. Value, a doctor and previous congressman from Georgia, offered to discount citizens the expenses brought about on his flights. Yet, the motion appears to at last not have been sufficient to influence the president, who was allegedly not happy with Price's activities. In light of the news, Trump has cut the benefit of government-owned aircraft use by individuals from his administration. A reminder issued by White House spending chief Mick Mulvaney peruses, with few exceptions, the commercial air system used by millions of Americans every day is appropriate, even for very senior officials. The announcement proceeds with, therefore, all travel on government-owned, rented, leased, or chartered aircraft, except space-available travel and travel to meet mission requirements, as those situations are defined in Circular A-126, shall require prior approval from the White House Chief of Staff. Starting now and into the foreseeable future, executive branch authorities will fly commercial. The inquiry is this: will congressional Democrats, especially Nancy Pelosi, consider doing likewise? What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HTCNA. Ultimatum. John Kasich just issued a nasty anti-Trump threat, "You'll be speechless." Ohio Governor John Kasich has, obviously, situated himself as the anti-Trump. His tempered identity and direct position on the issues put the previous presidential candidate inconsistent with the Patriot grassroots wing of the Republican Party, a group that is picking up an expanded quality in the Trump time. As per CNN, Kasich showed up on the network's Jack Tapper-hosted State of the Union program on Sunday to express his disappointment with the course the GOP is taking. Kasich told Tapper, "If the party can't be fixed, Jake, then I'm not going to be able to support the party. Period. That's the end of it." "I don't run the party," Kasich said. "I can tell you, for me, I don't support that. I couldn't vote for that." Kasich declared, "I want this party to be straightened out." He also called Moore a divider. "What I'm trying to do is struggle for the soul of the Republican Party the way that I see it, and I have a right to define it, but I'm not going to support people who are dividers." Kasich has been straightforward about giving lawful status to DACA recipients. As CBS News detailed, the Ohio senator trusts the individuals who entered the nation wrongfully as minors ought to have permanent resident status and they ought to stay and be able to contribute. Kasich went so far as to welcome Dreamers to live in his state. "If the Dreamers want to go somewhere and live, came to Ohio, we want all the immigrants to come to Ohio. We know how much immigrants contribute." Despite the fact that he has freely aligned himself with Colorado's Democrat representative, John Hickenlooper, Kasich has denied that the two would keep running on an independent ticket in 2020. President Trump won the 2016 race on account of his unexpected triumph in blue Midwestern states, including Ohio. In spite of the fact that Kasich rejects the rising patriot populist movement inside the GOP, it is a motivation which apparently has wide interest among common laborers voters in the Rust Belt. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HTCNN. Michelle Obama gets destroyed in front of whole country. Prior this week, previous First Lady stood up to claim that the GOP is basically all men, all white. Now, this has caused issues down the road for her bigly. Fox News announced that RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel stood up to get out Michelle for this racist and sexist remark. "It's unfortunate Michelle Obama would disregard the contributions of conservative women and people of all backgrounds with one sweeping, false accusation," McDaniel said. This came after Michelle described to the Pennsylvania Conference for Women that when Congress for State of the Union locations, she saw a conspicuous difference between the two sides. "What you can see is this real dichotomy. On one side of the room, it's a feeling of color," Michelle said. "On one side of the room, it's literally gray and white. Literally, that's the color palette on one side of the room. On the other side of the room, there are yellows and blues and whites and greens. Physically, there's a difference in color, in the tone, because one side, all men, all white. On the other side, some women, some people of color. No wonder people don't trust politics," she included. Not exclusively is Michelle disregarding the way that the leader of the RNC is a lady, she is additionally overlooking the various ladies and non-white individuals are Republican individuals from Congress, including Representative Mia Love of Utah and Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT Fox News. Despicable. Columbus Day just banned and replaced with. Liberals have been on a mission for a considerable length of time to get Columbus Day banned in light of the fact that they think that it's offensive. Now, liberals have prevailed with regards to getting Columbus Day renamed as Indigenous Peoples Day in Los Angeles, California. Fox News announced that the Los Angeles City Council just voted to replace Christopher Columbus holiday with a celebration of Indigenous people. The proposition to replace this occasion was initially introduced by Councilman Mitch O'Farrell, an individual from the Wyandot Nation tribe, in view of what he called Columbus' legacy of extreme violence, enslavement and brutality and the affliction, devastation of societies, and subjugation of Los Angeles original indigenous people, who were here thousands of years before anyone else. The main individual to vote against the movement was Councilman Joe Buscaino, who favored Italian Americans against the occasion change. Numerous Italian Americans see Columbus Day as a festival of their Italian legacy. With or without Columbus, Italians will continue to celebrate their sacrifices and contributions to this great country and our great city, Buscaino said after the vote. Christopher Columbus has turned into a troublesome figure as a few history specialists assert the leader conferred barbarities against the Native Americans he encountered when he came to America. Nonetheless, the National Christopher Columbus Association insists that Columbus himself isn't in charge of any violence against Native Americans. It is a huge error to blame Christopher Columbus the man for genocide at all, said Patrick Corton, a board member of the association. He bore no responsibility for it, and as a matter of fact, if you do the slightest little bit of history on the man and read his diaries, and what was said about him following the years of the discovery, it is clear that Columbus personally had great affection for the indigenous people he encountered and went out of his way to order his men not to abuse them in any fashion. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT Fox News. Host just ripped Michelle Obama to pieces on live TV. You're spoiled. Previous First Lady Michelle Obama is such a race-baiting egomaniac, to the point that she really thinks each black individual in America adores her. That is the reason it came as a gigantic stunt to her as of late when a black TV has released a video in which he totally went off on her. GOP The Daily Dose revealed that while Michelle was still First Lady, she gave a graduation speech at the predominantly black Tuskegee University in which she whimpered and race-baited like it was her activity. At the point when TV has Alfonso Rachel saw this, he knew he needed to accomplish something. If knowledge is power and you are graduating with the power of knowledge, then how are you going to tolerate this agitator coming in to convince you that you're a victim, despite the power you're graduating with, Rachel stated, tending to Michelle straightforwardly. You're the first freaking lady of the United States and you're still a spoiled butthurt victim, whining about unfairness. You're not interested in representing the United States, you're not interested in representing all the people, your interest is in representing the black community, and as the First Lady you have represented us as bitter and spoiled, he included. The only hope that people like you have, Michelle Obama, is that people will be as miserable as you. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HTGOP The Daily Dose. Marco Rubio just took down Michelle Obama with only one powerful photo. We as a whole commit mistakes, there is no uncertainty about that. Nonetheless, Democrats appear to have a rehashing propensity for making a special effort to put forth amazing expressions trying to demonstrate a non-existent point. Previous First Lady Michelle Obama concluded that she would endeavor to infuse race into a non-racial point. Her assault was gone for the GOP specifically and their excess of white men. As per Independent Journal Review, she stated, physically, there's a difference in color, in the tone. Because one side, all men, all white. On the other side, some women, some people of color. Marco Rubio concluded that he had enough and set up a few photos of the differing individuals from the GOP to indicate how false Obama's announcements were. GOP member Marco Rubio, a first-generation American whose parents originated from Cuba, chose that enough was sufficient. He tweeted a picture with himself and GOP Senator Tim Scott, who is the primary black representative from the Deep South since remaking. The photo additionally included Nikki Haley, who likewise happens to be the main female Indian American senator in U.S. history. As a subtitle to the picture, he stated, "Probably a good time to use." Let me rephrase that. Some other prominent GOP elected officials have likewise trolled the previous First Lady for her remarks. Unfortunately, these are the circumstances we live in. Michelle Obama clearly feels like she is fit the bill to make, as McDaniel stated, sweeping false accusations due to her sexual orientation and skin color and set aside the commitments of such huge numbers of individuals of differing nationalities, backgrounds, and skin color. This is inadmissible conduct. As a nation, we have to begin taking a gander at people and their conduct, not groups. Unexpectedly, Obama's comments were a speculation around a whole group of individuals in light of the color of their skin, which most would call racism. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HTIJR